only tangentially follow the behavior of Israel, what they be doing, then you hear the term human shield and you go, oh, Hamas. Hamas uses human shields, right? That is what Israel always accuses Hamas of. They love a human shield. Oh, do they love a human shield? They, even when they're not at war, they just walk around with a human shield. It's just like a style. It's like a clothing style for them. Oh, they love a human shield. That is Israel's propaganda. They're pumping it out 24/7. The truth is, there's very little to none evidence of Hamas militants using human shields. However, there is loads of evidence, including photos and videos of Israel using human shields. Israel literally strapping Palestinians onto the front of their Jeeps and their trucks and their tanks, innocent Palestinians, because they think they're less likely to get bombed or shot if they have an innocent Palestinian strapped to their vehicle. But here is an admission from an Israeli soldier who has been taking part in this genocide. Like, this is a guy who's in it. This is not a former IDF soldier who, the moment after October 7th said, I ain't taking part in a genocide. No, this is a war criminal, member of the genocide. But even this was a little too much for him, I guess, because he decided to relay what he saw. This is coming from an article in Haaretz, a well-known Israeli newspaper. And, I have to show you this post by Dropside News instead, because the Haaretz article is in Hebrew. I saw that 6 investigations were opened by the military police, MP, regarding the use of Palestinians as human shields. And I almost choked. I've seen cover-ups in my life, but this is a new low. In Gaza, human shields are used at least 6 times a day. So he's laughing at the fact that there's only 6 investigations into the use of human shields. He's like, no, this is the norm. If the MP, military police, wants to do its job seriously, they should open at least 2,190 investigations. But the MP just wants to pretend to the world that we're investigating ourselves, so they find a few scapegoats and pin everything on them. Chances are the scapegoats were soldiers that they were somehow looking to go after anyway. Somehow made their superiors angry, and so why not scapegoat them with this human shield stuff? The IDF soldier says, I was in Gaza for 9 months. I saw many new procedures. One of the worst was called Mosquito procedure. Innocent Palestinians were forced to enter homes in Gaza and, quote unquote, clear them, meaning checking for militants or explosives. So this is still another form of human shields. It's not strapping them to the tank. What it is you take an innocent Palestinian and you send them into a home to see if it's booby trapped, see if a bomb goes off, see if something happens to them when they walk in there. Keep in mind, they have done nothing wrong. This isn't some kind of punishment to them. This is simply the fact that they are Palestinian. So they are sent into these houses to see if they die. And if they don't die, then the IDF decides the house is clear for them to go into. So this is absolutely the dictionary definition of human shields. The IDF soldier says we gave it various names: Mosquito procedure, shawish, which means slaves, or platforms. I first encountered this in December 2023, 2 months into the ground maneuver. This was long before the shortage of sting dogs became the insane and unofficial excuse for this insane and unofficial procedure. I didn't understand back then how common it would become. Today, almost every company holds shawish, meaning they have slaves. And infantry forces don't enter a house before the shawish clears it. This means there are 4 shawish in a platoon, 12 in a battalion, 36 in a brigade. So every single platoon has these innocent Palestinian slaves that they send into homes to hopefully the bombs will blow them up instead of blowing up someone in the IDF. He says 36 in a brigade at least. We're holding a layer of slaves, and the MP is trying to cover it up with 6 investigations. So that's an admission from a current IDF soldier, because we see these photos of human shields. We see videos here and there of a Palestinian strapped to a IDF Jeep or something. A lot of people assume that these are like exceptions, that these are the rogue IDF soldiers that are doing something disgusting. Not that they aren't all doing something disgusting about being part of a genocide, but that this is a rogue activity. Instead, this is actually a by the book. Every platoon has these slaves that they send in to die in their place. And this is what's going on in Gaza on a daily basis, according to IDF soldiers. according to Haaretz, one of the most respected newspapers in Israel. Now, it can only be so respected because it's still pro-Israel, but of the pro-Israel propaganda rags, it's slightly better. Here's the difference between Haaretz and the other propaganda rags in Israel. Haaretz, right after October 7th, when Gray Zone and other independent outlets were doing reporting on the mass Hannibal directive, on the fact that the IDF killed hundreds of Israelis on October 7th, Haaretz put out an article calling all of those independent news organizations conspiracy theorists and liars. But months later, it admitted that the Hannibal directive definitely was used October 7th and the IDF killed a lot of Israelis. So they turned around eventually. That's the difference between them and other garbage outlets. But so that revelation is coming out, the not just the use of human shields, but the mass use of human shields by the IDF